Okay, so now we'll start the session. Okay,
Okay.
now
So
we'll start the session about SOAP. Okay, you can start.
the SOAP and WSDL is in Unit 5. We are going to see now what is web service architecture, web service versus conventional object middleware, SOAP, WSDL. What is a web service? Web service is a software system designed to support interpretable machine-to-machine interaction over a network, which is web service is a network which supports a system to transfer some information from a machine to another machine. It acts as an interface also. It has an interface described in a machine processable format. Then using the description of SOAP messages typically conveyed using HTTP with an XML serialization in conjunction with other web-related standards. In this manner, web services are interacted with other systems. In web service, some of the key elements are there. They were machine-to-machine communication, machine processable interface description, that is WSDL, that comes under WSDL. Then communication through messages using HTTP as transport protocol and XML serialization. The word web in web service, the word web is called as classical, is also called as classical web, even though SOAP WS also it is named. Then next slide, sir. Next slide, sir.
Okay, you can tell before starting SOAP order abbreviation solid. Okay, a simple object access protocol.
Okay, access protocol.
Okay, you can start.
SOAP. Okay. SOAP is a protocol which stands for Simple Object Access Protocol, and WSDL is abbreviated as Web Service Description Language. So UDDI பத்தியும் சொல்லுமா சார்?
You can just tell the abbreviation of it. In detail, you can't don't want because it is not in syllabus. Just mention the abbreviation. That is enough. Okay. UDDA is carried in SOAP. Okay.
Okay. UDDI is abbreviated as Universal Description and Discovery Protocol. In that, service consumer, service provider, and service registry, three type of services is there. This diagrams denotes that how the transformation between the service registry, service consumer, and service provider was taken using UDDI SOAP. How the messages are transferred between these were defined in this diagram. Next. Here some of the differences between web services and middleware objects were defined here. Middleware objects, they were taken example as Cobra. Web services, they were taken example as SOAP, WSDL, UDDI. Some of that aspects were data model, client server coupling, location transparency, tape system, error handling, serialization, parameter passing, transfer syntax, state, request semantics, registry, service discovery, language support, security, firewall, traversal events. And those were the differences between the web services and object middlewares. Next slide. Then what is a SOAP? SOAP has an abbreviation, Simple Object Access Protocol. It also defines some key functions needed in a distributed computing environment. Though those were named listed below. one-way stateless message exchanging mechanism, message processing model. Those models where roles must understand intermediary for SOAP nodes. Abstract structured message definition able to run on a different serialization. Definition of bindings to transport protocols, and then extension mechanism. Finally, fault handling model. These were some of the key functions in used in SOAP. Next slide. Then here, how the messages were transferred and exchanging mechanisms are there. So defines the message structure for the message exchange between a web service provider and a consumer. Generally, SOAP messages were between consumer and provider. The first diagram is SOAP where the message was coming from the sender and where the receiver part. SOAP defines the role. Basic model of SOAP is one way and stateless. It is a stateless one, and it can be a one way sending messages. That is, a sender sends a message to a receiver without returning a state about the message exchange. There is no acknowledgement receiving message and all in this. Only the message will be sent to the receiver. Whether it is sent or not, it will not be denoted back to the sender. The most common message exchange pattern is request response between a web service consumer and provider. Web service provider and consumer are then both SOAP sender and receiver. It can be message request or message response within the web service consumer and also the web service provider. The request and response message will be the common pattern. Next, sir. Then there's also another mechanism to transfer messages between consumer and the provider. Here, a SOAP intermediary will be there, which passes the message to the web service provider and consumer. Here, the SOAP model defines another entity called intermediary, a node that can be addressed to perform some particular function, such as caching or message filtering. UML view of entities. This diagram denotes when the messages are sent, in between the intermediary will be there as an entity to transfer the messages from sender to receiver. Next, sir. Also, another mechanism. SOAP defines a generic structure of an abstract message element of SOAP message. In this message HTTP post, there will be an envelope, a header, and a SOAP body. These three will be there for sending a message to another system or any other. SOAP envelope, it is a container for the optional SOAP header and the mandatory for the SOAP body element. And SOAP header is it may carry control information which is not application payload. Such information is organized in header blocks, each with its individual XML namespace defining the schema. The SOAP header is extensible, that is, arbitrary names with a particular way of messages processing can be woven into the header. And then finally, SOAP body. It carries the actual application information encoded as an XML document. The schema of the body is defined by a WSDL document. These three were important to send a message to another system. Next, sir. Then this is also a mechanism which is in a program. We can be programmed and then it can be processed. A few SOAP header attributes. env role, env must understand, env relay, env coding style. These are the some of the header attributes present in the SOAP. Role defines which node along the message path is to process the header block. Next, non-ultimate receiver. These are the possible values. Must understand. This is for processing the header block supposed to, though depends on the semantics of the header block. Relay defines, otherwise the header blocks is consumed by the SOAP forward to the node. Then finally, encoding style defines the encoding or serializing scheme of the block where it is present. Default SOAP encoding. It is an XML encoding. Next. Then this was the full network which transfers the message from the service consumer to the service provider. In detail, it will be presented as a diagrammatic manner. In this, some of the applications: SOAP abstract message, SOAP serialization, HTTP engine. These will be used same as the consumer side and also the provider side. Between these, app level message defined by WSDL and SOAP data model, and then SOAP environment such as SOAP header, SOAP body. This will be an intermediate for transferring the messages between service consumer and service provider. Service SOAP provides the mapping between application messages defined by a WSDL schema and physical messages transported over the network. Next is then briefly about SOAP. Initially, SOAP was modeled as an XML based variant of RPC. It is basically a XML model. The basic pattern of RPC is request and response. SOAP now is generalized message exchange mechanism, not mandating a specific message exchange pattern. Multiple patterns are possible: in out, request response, in only, out and etc. In this transport binding, message exchange patterns were there. If the SOAP transport binding is HTTP, SOAP RPC maps to HTTP request and response, where the HTTP is URI, is the address of a SOAP processor. URI is the address of the SOAP processor. Then message exchange pattern. Message exchange pattern is some pattern for exchanging the response message. SOAP RPC uses the SOAP response message exchange pattern MEP. The SOAP specification recommends to map the resource address to the request URI. Next. Here, SOAP and RPCs. Identification of resource, which means which identifies the SOAP and RPC recommends to identify the resource by both an URI and the name of an operation plus arguments. We can see some of the URL and URIs. Here one URI is there, URL is there, HTTP like that. It is the SOAP RPC recommendation proposes to duplicate the resource identification URI plus the name of the operation plus arguments. When using HTTP transport binding for the sake of compatibility with WWW principles, every resource has its own individual address. Here, common programming language constructs are in conflict with web paradigms. Every resource has its own individual addresses. REST is much clearer in this respect and cleanly separates resource identification URI from operation to be performed on the resource HTTP method. So, next is here SOAP and RPC were used in encoding of requests. Here the coding was taken place for encoding. The request is modeled as a struct, example, an XML fragment whose outermost node is the name of the RPC method or operation, and the contained nodes are arguments as exemplified below. Some of the coding for defining latitude, for defining a location,
Hello.
Hello, not audible, sir.
Hello. அவன் ஏதோ மைக் போகுது ஆனா வந்து எதுவும் கேட்கல, கட் ஆயிடுச்சு. நான் கால் பண்ணி பார்க்கறேன்.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
and get the weather update. Response data is encoded as an XML struct again. Sir?
எடுங்க கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க. முடிஞ்சிருச்சா? Hello.
Sir, it is audible, sir.
Yes, it is audible. You can continue. Yes, ma, continue. கேக்கலையா? Hello.
Hello, audible. Continue.
Avitra.
Sir, it is audible, sir.
Yes, audible only. You can continue.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So next slide. In this next one is SOAP transport binding. The SOAP transport binding defines a transport protocol to be used. The only standardized binding is HTTP. However, other transports such as SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, are possible by virtue of the extensible architecture of SOAP. The HTTP transport binding of SOAP defines two possible messages exchange patterns. They were simple and safe information retrieval by RPC call, and then non-safe RPC call, modification of data or responder server. First one, simple and safe information retrieval by RPC call. Here, the RPC requester and responder will be there. One is getting of messages, and the reply will be in SOAP with the SOAP message request. If a SOAP node is simply retrieves information from other SOAP node without alerting data on the required node, safe method as per HTTP, no side effects. SOAP recommends this the SOAP response message exchange pattern. Web method is equal to HTTP GET. SOAP message response message exchange patterns. No header blocks are available here. In this, only a requester and a responder will be there, and a GET method is used. That is a web method, and a SOAP response message exchange patterns will be used for a response message. Next slide, sir. Here the another second one is non-safe RPC call. Here data is updated on the query node with data carried on in a SOAP request message. Here the request will be HTTP post, response will be same as response, SOAP request response message exchanging patterns. RPC requester will request a message through HTTP post, and RPC responder will respond a message in SOAP request response message exchanging patterns. Next, sir. Then finally, fault element. In SOAP, the fault element will be present. SOAP uses the XML fault element as a part of the SOAP body to indicate SOAP errors. Some of the errors will be found. For finding those errors, SOAP element will be SOAP, that is a XML fault element works as a part in the SOAP body. The fault element is used to indicate SOAP level errors or application level errors, that is inexistent RPC method. Example, SOAP message with fault element. Some of the programmed example is given below. Then, sir, completed, sir. That is UDI, sir. Oh, no, WSDL.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, thank you. I will conclude. I will take this WSDL session and then I will conclude. Okay. Okay, thank you. Nice presentation. So next we are going to see about WSDL. Okay, so WSDL, you know, so how to what, how and where you are going to create the. Okay, so WSDL stands for Web Service Description Language. Okay, so the primary purpose of using is this WSDL is used to, you have to describe what. Okay, what is the major use of this? That is, it is a XML abstract definition of a web service. It consists of that type. Okay, what type of system it is used to describe the service meta model, and then what are the messages are data types. Okay, how it can interact with this okay, with this web services, and then the message exchange. So message exchange, you can use them while interacting with the web service. So these three are the what description. Okay, so now how we are going to interact with the abstract web service. Okay, so through a transport layer, by a transport layer binding or transport layer protocols, how we are going to bind this. Okay, and third one is where. Okay, so where you are going to create a where is the location. Okay, and the other you are going to save that particular instance. Okay, if you are creating a SOAP message body, okay, simple object access protocol. So where is the instance of this abstract message description? So that is used to where. Okay, so these three are the important in this. Okay, the important notations of WSDL. Okay, so now how to create? Now we can see in this. Okay, in this WSDL 2.0, that is this is partitioned into abstract interface description, and this the first part. Okay, it consists into two parts. First part contains the types. Okay, so there are types and the user interface with all the operation. Okay, so that is called as service interface, what abstract definition. And the second part what it does means, you can see the green color, so that is used for binding. Okay, so binding with the how and where. Okay, so this how and where will be binded into one thing with the service and the endpoint. Okay, so the topmost layer is what is the service interface given the definition, and then the below layer is the implementation part, which is done as a service implementation combined with the how and where. Okay, how it binded the particular description, and where. Okay, so where is the location? So which location you are going to give the concrete interface implementation part. Okay, so this is the what about WSDL. Now you can see this is a small program in which XML is embedded. Now XMLNS. Okay, so extension. Okay, so in this the target namespace. Okay, namespace anga irukku. So adula vandu the website. Okay, so the website name is embedded in this. Okay, so this target namespace denotes what? It denotes the namespace of the web service descriptor. Okay, so the web service descriptor is great.example.com. So that is defined in this WSDL file. Okay, so now again coming to the description part. Description is what? Description is the top level. Okay, so top level is what it contains the version, the encoding, what is the encoding, and what are the elements contains with the name plus declaration. So these everything will be continued in this. Okay, so next one is now we can see the type elements. Okay, so what are the user defined data types? Okay, so data types comprising the complex data structure or with different schemas. In this below example, you can see the type elements. Okay, so the messages which are embedded in this. Okay, so element name equal to so this is a normal program for check-in date, hotel check-in. Okay, so whether rooms are available or not. Okay, so for creating an element, you have to use access and then check-in date, check-out date. Then you can note that these elements are basically the messages. Okay, the messages which are sent between the client and server. Okay, client and server. So that is typically they are called as messages. Okay, so this is used in this WSDL. And coming to the interface part. Okay, so in the interface is the so interface which describes the definition. So what is the abstract definition for the web service and all the details? So web service can have the errors. Okay, so possible compile time error or runtime error. So all these are called as fault. Already Pavitra sollirupaanga SOAP la vandu fault errors are possible. Okay, so similarly in this also possible. And whenever you exchange the message, so from one input message to output message. Okay, so whenever you exchange this message, that pattern we call it as message exchange pattern. Okay, and you can see this is a normal operation. So for operation includes the in this you can see in this input and output data structure. Okay, so input and output data structure is formed in this, and that is called as the WSDL 1.x, and this is the this is used to add an abstract. Okay, second part we can see that the pattern la the embed panniranga URL that we call it as abstract message exchange pattern. Okay, so because inside the WSDL in and out both input and output are mentioned in this. Okay, so this is what about this WSDL. So now you are okay. So from this webinar you got the idea about what is SOAP and what is UDDI and what is WSDL, the web service descriptor language, and from what, how, and where. Okay, where you are going to create this instances. Okay, is there a doubt, Ruka? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, so another important. Okay, mute பண்ணுங்க. Okay, another important question is Ajax architecture. So Ajax architecture on another question in the 5th unit. So in the Ajax architecture consists of the 2 layers. Okay, so top layer and bottom layer. So the top layer has a top layer has a user interface. So already just தெரியும் the Ajax architecture. Just I given that definition for this. Okay, the top layer has a user interface. The user interface, the input condition as a JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript call will be given to the Ajax engine, and then the response. Okay, so request user interface gives the request as a JavaScript call to the Ajax engine, plus Ajax engine and the response. What response you get? Already it is mentioned. See, so HTML plus CSS data is sent as a response to the user interface. Again from the Ajax engine to the next part, Ajax engine sends the request, HTTP request, okay, to the web server or XML server, and from the XML server the response is sent as the response is sent as the XML data to the Ajax engine. Again coming back to the server, from web server. Okay, web server request is given to the server side logic data, and server side logic data will give the response back to the XML server. Okay, so this is the So this is both Ajax as the both client and server. Okay, so architecture diagram kepanga in the question. Okay, so client side as a user interface and Ajax engine, and server side as web or XML server. Okay, so now I'll show the diagram for this diagram. Idea. Okay, so now you can see this. Show the diagram. So this is the diagram for. You can just take the screenshot for this. Okay, diagram visible arka.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is what about the Ajax architecture. Okay, so both the browser client and okay, so client and server. So if I solve the so both the user interface and the Ajax engine. Okay, so and both HTTP requests should be passed to the web server and the server side logic and data. Okay, so this is what about Ajax architecture. So now you can just take the screenshot of this. Okay, screenshot and the
Okay, sir.
screenshot. Just take this screenshot of this. Okay, I will stop my screen sharing. If there are doubts in the, you can okay. Then I'll stop the recording.